NFL Network analyst Daniel Jeremiah on his podcast, Move the Sticks, he ranked every quarterback in each division, and he put Caleb Williams as the worst quarterback in the NFC North. We have the audio here, so please take a listen.
Jared Goff is 1 for me. I have Jordan Love 2. I have Sam Darnold 3, Caleb Williams 4. And that's just, that's just because I think it's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period with Caleb. And then I think that, he's got a chance. Sky's the limit. And I'm bullish on Sam Darnold with Kevin O'Connell and all the pieces that they have there in Minnesota.
So he ranks him as dead last in the NFC North. Sam Darnold, he puts ahead of Caleb Williams. I want to know, do you agree or disagree with Jeremiah's take? And then how would you rank the NFC North quarterbacks?
Yeah. I didn't really understand his analysis. He said there's going to be a little bit of an adjustment period for Caleb Williams. Well, how long? He said maybe a half a year. Well, then by over the whole year, maybe he plays a lot better than Sam Darnold, which I think is probably possible. I mean, I've been pretty hard on the Bears, and people have given me a pretty hard time about it, right? And maybe some of it rightly so, but I'm not that tough on as tough as Jeremiah is on Caleb Williams. I do think that he will outshine Sam Darnold by the end of over the course of a whole season, which is how you should evaluate a quarterback, not just how he plays in the first 4 or 5 games and then how he plays the rest of the season. It's for the whole season, and I think that Williams has a lot of he has a lot of talent. Jeremiah, in fact, ranked him number 1 in the draft. He said, although he has average height, he's thick and muscular build. He's a natural thrower, delivers the ball with accuracy, velocity from a variety of platforms and arm angles. He powers the ball in a tight window and can also finesse the ball when needed. He's a dynamic runner who makes the defenders look silly in space. I mean, he couldn't have enough good things to say about him, and now he ranks him behind Sam Darnold? Come on. That's just a media hype thing, I think. He's looking to get his name out there and people talking about it like us here. So I don't think he's going to be the best in the NFC North. I think Goff and Love are definitely going to be better than him. He's only a rookie, so it's going to take him a while to improve. But Sam Darnold, his best year, 61.9% completion percentage, 3,024 yards, 232 yards per game. He had 19 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, an 84.3 quarterback rating, a great record of 7-6. Huh? So I think Williams will outshine Darnold.
So you're saying, would you agree though that it's Goff, Love, and then you would say Williams, Darnold?
That would be my analysis. Although I will say Jared Goff, when he's under pressure, is terrible.
That's true.
Okay, so his offensive line is going to have to play well. If they do, he'll be the best quarterback in the NFC North, I think. Jordan Love, he didn't have a very good first half. I think it was mostly because the receivers were so young and it took him a while to gel. But he had an excellent second half. But it's a small sample size. I mean, it's really 1 year, so you'll have to wait and see. He's also very poor under pressure. So most quarterbacks are, though. So, we'll see how the rest of the teams play. It is a team sport. And Williams has quite a bit of talent around him on the offense. I don't pick him to win that many games, but I do think he'll have some good moments at quarterback, and I do think he'll overall for the year be a better quarterback than Sam Darnold.
Well, I 1,000% agree with you, and I don't think Sam Darnold should be ranked over Caleb Williams because from the get-go, I guarantee you could timestamp this, favorite this, save it for later, whatever you want to do with it. From the get-go, Caleb Williams will automatically be a better quarterback than Sam Darnold has ever been in his entire career. Would you believe that Sam Darnold's best season, like you said, not even 62% completion percentage, 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, 13 picks, a passer rating of 84. That was Sam Darnold's best season of his entire career, which was his second to last year with the New York Jets. He wasn't that great in Carolina. He wasn't that great. He played a singular game, which I think was the last game, and he lost. He lost his last game when he was with San Francisco. Now, where I do think that Sam Darnold can have his moments is if he just is the game manager and plays even okay at that. Because the Vikings roster is good enough for, hell, if Daniel Jones was on the Vikings, I think Daniel Jones would look pretty good. Because that's kind of what he needs. He needs pieces around him so he can just dink and dunk. Brock Purdy also. I'm sure we'll talk about him at some point. There's something, PFF came out with something interesting about he was the most helped quarterback this year, which is what my campaign was for his MVP or lack thereof. So I think Brock Purdy could do very well in the Vikings. I thought J.J. McCarthy, if he was just okay, if he was decent and could at least fit into the system good enough where he's on time, gets the throws to his playmakers, and let his playmakers make the plays, he'd be okay. He's struggling a little bit right now. By the time training camp comes around and by the time preseason comes around, will that change and he jumps Sam Darnold? Maybe. But the fact that you have Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, Brandon Powell's not too bad, TJ Hawkinson, and then Christian Darrisaw as your left tackle, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good start to the offense. However, PFF came out with its wide receiver core and overall its entire offense. Wide receiver core, which I'm going to bring up, it's ranked fourth, in the NFL, which I can completely understand. Caleb Williams at quarterback, should be a perfectly fine rookie. He was the first overall pick in the draft. DeAndre Swift, running back, he really shined with the Eagles when he had a pretty good offensive line. Keenan Allen, wide receiver 1, he is old, gets banged up occasionally. However, can he still get you 120 catches? I think he can if he has the production, which I don't think, just because of the amount of talent he'll need to do. And then you also have DJ Moore. I think he got 1,300 yards, if I'm not mistaken, this past season with Justin Fields as his quarterback. And we have talked about Justin Fields at lengths about how he wasn't that good of a quarterback. And then Rome Odunze, very, very promising rookie. I like him a lot. And then obviously Cole Kmet at over 700 yards. I think he's an underrated tight end. Very underrated. I thought the Patriots should have drafted him in the first round of that particular, I think it was the 2020 or 2021 draft class. I thought the Patriots should have drafted him in the first round. So the Bears' offense is pretty good. In totality, would it be top 10? The offense, if we're talking about including offensive line, the offensive line I think brings it down a little bit. Right guard, not great, who I believe, the right guard of I think it's Nick Gates if I'm not mistaken. I'll bring it up right now just to clarify myself. Oh, sorry, Nate Davis. Nate Davis. PFF rated him very, very low. The entire offensive line wasn't that great. However, Jenkins, can he stay healthy? If he can, he's a pretty good left guard. Darnell Wright and also Braxton Jones, 2 very, very young tackles. If they could make a massive jump like Andrew Thomas did for the Giants, I think the Bears' offensive line structurally would be pretty good. DeAndre Swift bouncing to the outside, I think you could definitely use him in that regard. You don't need them run him up through the trenches because the interior of the offensive line for the Bears isn't great. Last season, it wasn't that great. However, another year under the system. My only concern, and we heard about this recently, how is the offensive scheme going to be? Because Caleb Williams at USC was very sporadic. He was trying to make the hero ball play. He was always trying to make the flashy play, stay in the pocket way too long. Instead of taking the easy route, he would stand in there and make the flashy play, the highlight play. Can his game be more refined if need be? He's getting compared to Mahomes already, which, if you're trying to live up to that, it's a very, very difficult thing to do, especially historically with the Bears, what they've done to quarterbacks. People say it's the place where quarterbacks go to die. I think it could also, the Jets could also fit underneath that category as well. However, clear shot at the Jets. But they've never had a 4,000-yard passer and never had a quarterback throw for 30 more touchdowns. Can Caleb Williams do one of those things this season? I'll bring it up again. With this offensive talent, I think he has a pretty good shot at doing it.
Maybe. I think he will do it, but maybe not in his rookie season. I think can you bring those players back up there? I think they do have a lot of talent. I think that Odunze could be, another J.J. Jefferson maybe, or some of the other C.D. Lamb or somebody that plays in that kind of category. But he's only a rookie, and so is Caleb Williams. So it's going to take him a little while to gel, I think. I agree with that. Jeremiah, I agree with that point. It's going to take them a while to adjust. I think they have a chance to be great, but I don't think it's going to be next year. But even with the poor record that I predict for the Bears, I do think Caleb Williams will be better than Sam Darnold.
I agree with that. And I agree with the rest of the ranking, too. We have the exact same ranking. I put Goff above Love, and I put Love above Caleb Williams. And even if J.J. McCarthy's out there, I'd still put him above J.J. McCarthy because the Vikings quarterback situation currently is not that great. If Sam Darnold, it's Sam Darnold.
I think that the J.J. McCarthy will wind up in there before the end of the season.
Oh, absolutely.
Based on the way Darnold has played over his career.
You have to. He was the 9th or 10th pick in the draft.
His physical talents are pretty good, but the mental part of his game has always been suspect.
I agree with that. It's unfair to call him the worst NFC North quarterback when, he hasn't, and I understand. Pre-rankings, trying to get it out there first, I completely understand. We've done it a number of times. But
plus, Jeremiah's his analysis doesn't make sense. He said there's going to be an adjustment period for Williams, maybe half a season. Well, rank him over the whole season and compare him to Darnold then. He could be great in the second half. That's what he predict. Let's compare him to C.J. Stroud. Does Williams have as good or better talent on the Bears as C.J. Stroud had in his rookie season? I would say maybe a little better. The rest of the talent around him is maybe a little better. Maybe not the offensive line.
But
the skill players, I think that they're every bit as good on the Bears as the Texans had. Now, will Williams be as good as C.J. Stroud? I doubt it. I think that performance for a rookie last year was quite amazing. And he took him to the playoffs and won a playoff game. The guy is a special player. So, but in terms of talent around him, I would say that Williams has just as good a talent around him in his rookie season as Stroud had. Will he play as well? I'd be surprised, but it'll be fun to watch.
I think the massive thing that the Bears are going to need to do is, how are you going to deal with run blocking? You're the 23rd best ranked run blocking team. Will DeAndre Swift be effective? Because already last year, and I think this is in large part due to the fact that you had Justin Fields as your quarterback, and I think athletic-wise, Caleb Williams does have a decent amount of athleticism, but if you're comparing him to Justin Fields, I think Justin Fields has the edge. The Bears last year were the second best rush team in the NFL, even behind the 23rd best run blocking team, and I think, like I said, that's in large part due to Justin Fields' mobility. Will that regress? Will your offensive line be able to step up to the task this year and say, you know what, we're going to get better run blocking wise? Because I don't think DeAndre Swift will have a massive impact, which he did with the Eagles for a large part of that season, if you don't have a good run blocking offensive line. If the offensive line falls through, Caleb Williams, we've already seen, USC did not have the best offensive line, and for sure they didn't have a great defense. Now, the defense for the Bears back half of the season, everybody knows that they were ranked number 1 for, I think, week 12, I want to say, on, or it may have been even longer than that. It might have been after the trade deadline, where they were number 1 in the league. Okay, but in the entire season, though, that's what I'm looking at, the entire season. This year, will that continue? Will that continue? That's, we're going to have to leave it up to that, but I think good defense, which Caleb Williams did not have his last year at USC, okay to good offensive line, depending on what happens. I think the tackle situation is something that honestly might make or break Caleb Williams' pocket presence, especially at a young age. You want to have good pocket presence. Ask Sam Howell how he did with that very poor offensive line in Washington. But I think overall, Caleb Williams, by the end of the season, I don't think he'll be able to surpass Love or Goff as number 2 or number 1 best in the NFC North, but I think he'll solidify his place as at least over whoever is the quarterback in the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Well, what do you think about his performance as a rookie and potential performance compared to Stroud?
I think what Stroud did will be and is more impressive than what Caleb Williams could do, because he took a 3-13-1 team and won 10 games and won a playoff game.
Yeah.
I think, by the way, the Bears went 7-10 last year. So are you saying they're now going to go 14-3? Win a playoff game if we're doing the same level there, win 7 games more.
I said.
I don't think Caleb
the
Williams
opposite.
Yeah, I don't think Caleb Williams is a +7 in the win category. Do I think that he can go 9-8, 8-9? I think that is a very good season.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's not forget that the Texans also drafted Will Anderson
defensively,
and
correct?
Traded up to get him, and that made their defense a lot better too. The Bears defense, we'll see. They did strengthen it. They got the sweat from the Commanders.
That was the massive piece that made them so good.
He played well for
season.
them. He played well for them too once he came over. So, and they picked up some more pieces in the draft too for their defense too. So we'll see. It's going to be great. I can't wait for the season to start.
Hey, NFL is
We got a long way to go too.
I think it's under 100 days. I think we got 80 or so days, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the season to ramp up. I got to do my my quarterback rankings soon enough, which I'll do at some point. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, if you want to check out the full episode, make sure you click the I in the top right-hand corner right now. If you want to listen to this show anywhere you go, make sure you go to anchor.fm/The Harvey Hour or anywhere you get your podcasts.